Hello everybody, my name is Yule Carter. I own Fantastic Comics in Berkeley, California, and for those of you that don't know, I host a show every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on Tuesday, if I didn't say that already, West Coast, because we're a West Coast store. It's a show for my customers. It's a show for anybody that wants to talk about comic books. And it's just so I can get my ideas or thoughts off my head. As a comic store owner, one of the few perspectives that's out there in YouTube land, dealing with comics and owning a store. Here I am, everybody. Welcome. I thought I would broadcast today because even though our song says that we have new comics every Wednesday, today is one of those exceptions. And I thought that maybe my customers that don't always watch the show or are just getting on Facebook and see this pop up might check this out. So let me get this out really quick. Yesterday we got our DC comics like we do every Tuesday. There's some cool things that are in there. There's Superman Red, White, and Blue. Or Red and Blue. Kind of like Batman Black and White. There was also Nightwing. Nightwing came out with the new Tom Taylor storyline. That was pretty cool. And a few other books. But DC, since they're only being, distributed by Lunar, they came out on time, but it's not a whole lot of books that came out that are new this week. Hopefully by the end of today, possibly by the end of tomorrow, we will have finally received our Diamond order. And in Diamond, that's where you get your Oni, that's where you get your DC comic books, or DC, that's where you get your Marvel comic books, Oni, Boom, Image, on and on and on, Fantagraphics. Although I heard there was a new one of the companies, maybe like Scout or Vault, I can't remember which one, they are going to supposedly be going through Lunar. So, although that's not quite the the monumental sea change that we were expecting, or a rat leaving the ship that's sinking of Diamond, it is the beginning, and we will see if other companies follow suit, so that we can have more than one distributor distributing all titles. Wouldn't that be wonderful? Kind of like the old days. Have a choice. See, today I don't have my Diamond books, but maybe Lunar would have given me my Diamond books, or the books that come from Diamond. But of course there's weather conditions and all sorts of things, and this is not anything new. So don't fret, we will have our brand new comic books, just not today. Although we do have DC. And if you come on in the store, this is again specifically for customers. If you come in the store today, we will be selling trade paperbacks and graphic novels at a discount. Basically, it's going to be buy one and then buy a second of equal or lesser value at half price. So it's a classic old, our comics got delayed comic relief routine, but take advantage of it. I've got a lot of really good trades. If you check out our Instagram, which I'll bring up actually, if you check out our Instagram, you'll see the posts that we made. And let me just share screen to do that. Share screen. You can follow us on all social media. Well, any social media we take part of, just under Fantastic Comics. We follow some pretty cool people that do, mostly comic book related stuff. So it's a pretty clean account. Let's go to our profile, and you can see the posts that I made today. Look at all those trades right there. Black Hammer hardcovers. You can buy the first one for $50 and the second one for $25. Or I've got Cerebus down there, and then High Society. And just to let you know, we have a downstairs. And downstairs, I know Church and State is there. Plus, here you go, your John A. Ryber Books of Magic. Classic Brave and the Bold Batman stories. And all those cables. Plus, look at Grendel. This is the time to jump into Grendel, everybody. Or Silver Age Green Lantern. Invincible. It's going to be a cartoon on the Amazon network. So, get ready for that by reading Invincible. Star Wars, Teen Titans, one of my all-time favorites, Teen Titans, especially the George Perez, Marv Wolfman stuff. Great art, great stories, fantastic stuff. Also, I posted, anytime we're going to go live, except for today. Also, here are some comic books that I've pressed over the weekend and that we're selling in the store. 49 of Submariner, 50 of Submariner. That's the first Namorita. All these awesome Gil Kane covers. Bill Everett does the art on the inside, story and art on this one here, Sunfire. Excellent stuff. Oh, Wonder Man. This is a one-shot series, that came out. Bill Sienkiewicz on the cover, Kerry Gamble on the art and the inside. And then Bill Sienkiewicz throughout on this one, plus Chris Claremont, of course. Great issue. Such good condition. I really think if I slabbed it, it would be one of those charge $70 for it kind of situations. All right. So actually, before I do this, let's highlight a comment. We've got a comment, everybody. At least it says we do. Oh, here it is. SF Comic Book Company. How's it going, guys? Everyone needs to read that Invincible. I fantastically agree with that. That's great stuff. I think it's Kirkman's best work also. It has really good artwork. Otley, definitely his best artwork. He had some good issues of Spider-Man, but the care and effort and joy that I feel he brought to Invincible just didn't translate to Spider-Man, although he seemed to be an obvious choice. A bit of a shame. Still good work. I'm more excited with Gleason doing Spider-Man stuff. Actually, right next to Invincible was also Irredeemable, and I know a lot of people have hang-ups about Mark Waid, but that was a very good series also. He's not always my favorite writer, but if you're going to want to read a evil Superman story and kind of figure out where he's coming from and why he did what he did and the mystery surrounding that, Irredeemable is an excellent book. Now, the other one, Incorruptible, I think is what it was called, I don't really care about that one. It was the reverse, a bad guy who's doing good things, and I just didn't care. But yeah, Invincible's excellent, and I'm really looking forward to the cartoon. The few Invincibles that I actually didn't like, and I didn't read all of it, was anytime he wasn't involved. Anytime there was like Alien Bob or whatever his name is, and some of those other stories. I know a lot of people did like them, but I think it kind of took from the story, so I wasn't as into it. For those of you that are just tuning in now, I run Fantastic Comics. I own Fantastic Comics in Berkeley, California. You can come on in from 12 to 5 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday, except for next Tuesday because it will be my birthday and I'm taking the day off, although I will be streaming that night at 8 p.m. as usual. So, yeah, come on in and wish me happy birthday next Tuesday, Boogie Bentley. Just talking some comic books. I have a Marvel Age here we're going to page through. I thought it'd be fun if we check some of that stuff out. Yeah, that's what we're doing, Boogie. If you can handle it, stick around. We can talk about some comic books that didn't come out today, even though they're supposed to. I was really looking forward to it. And, just before we do that, let me let everybody know that Boogie Bentley is the host of the Wrestling Council on the Talkin' Vols Network. He's the proprietor of that channel, And I host that show with him, co-host that show with him and Comic Book Bob. And every week we play this commercial letting you know that you can buy one of our t-shirts.
What are you wearing, kid? Greenhorn, what are you, blind or something? If you're going to dress like every other curtain jerker here in Chattanooga, jerking the curtain off the wall and wearing it, this plan's never going to work. You need to dress more like the swing man with style, class.
Boogie, we need to get the swing man on our show someday. That'd be really, really awesome. If you need to follow me, you will personally. You want to see me say some naughty words sometimes, you can follow me on Twitter at Big Blue Yule. And on Instagram, Filthy Burger is my name. I'm also on, like I said, the Talkin' Balls Network for the Wrestling Council. And if you are into sci-fi and fantasy books and want to hear some people talking about chapters as they read them, you should check out that Sci-Fi Fantasy Read-Along. I do that with my buddy Etienne and Phil, and sometimes Jill is on another podcast with Etienne talking about different books. Stuff that I just can't handle reading. What is that? Tune in. Right now we're doing Foundation, which is going to be one of those Amazon or Apple television programs. Check it out. But if you just want to know what the book was like, the very first one, we've already done it, and we're releasing the episodes even as we speak. We're 4 in. So yeah, check that out. And if you're interested at all in any other YouTube comic book related shows, I highly recommend Fantastic Comics, so first of the list. Woo! And Discovery Bay Comics, Comics by Perch, Cartoonist Kayfabe, Thinking Critical, a show I'm sometimes on. And then in addition, Sci-Fi Fantasy Read-Along and Talkin' Balls. I'll let that go up for a little while. And let me share screen so that I can, well, wait, before we do that. Okay, just this. Boom. Oh, wait. Boom. Here we go. All right. Yes, I am a man of many streams, Boogie. So, is this working? I don't know if it's working. Doesn't seem to be working. Oh, that's a bummer. Maybe I have to start it over again. All right, this is what I'll have to stop doing. Stop sharing. And I'll get back on screen. Let's see here. Why isn't it not working? Let me go back. Oh, yeah, that's why. Okay, cool. This will just take a second. All right, here we go. Come on, work. Work, work, work. It worked earlier. It should work now. Okay, excellent. You can see my hand. Hello, everybody. Marvel Age! Woo! This used to come out, God, in the 80s. I guess the first issue was in 83. And they're celebrating Secret Wars. Spider-Man 252 happened the month before, which is where he comes back from the alien, the Beyonder world with the alien costume, which ultimately becomes Venom. And then in this issue, they're talking about issue 253. And what this magazine was just a little highlight of things that are going to happen in Marvel, maybe an article, talking about their whole line of comics. And it's great. You get a little editorial right here. Scalarup. Is that who did that? Or Salicrup? There's something really cool in here I'll show you also. They have coming attractions with little blurbs. Basically something you would read in Diamond Magazine, but just Marvel. You don't have to, you don't have to read a whole bunch. It's not really spoilers, but it does let you know things that are happening. And these were well written, and it was pretty sweet. They have a highlight on a book, or these are the News Watch. And then over here, they have how to pronounce comic book creators' names. Case in point, everybody has a problem with the Moon Knight illustrator that does all that funky art. Sinkowicz is the one I hear a lot of times, or if you don't really know. It says right here, Sin Kev Itch. There you go. And that one letterer, Orzakowski, his name is Orzakowski. So there you go. If you want to find out how to pronounce these old Marvel creators who aren't in comic books anymore, come on by the store and I'll let you know. And then they have like a top 10. They're talking about Secret Wars. There's all this stuff about the designs of the costume. This would be an alternate cover. In fact, someday they should use this image alone for an alternate cover. Have those little lines. They don't even have to pay who did this. Probably Zek, I'm assuming. Yeah, Marvel Age is a pretty cool book. Actually, I never really collected it. It was only a quarter, but it actually seemed like kind of a waste most of the time. It's like, who really needs this stuff? I buy Thor if I want to buy Thor. You know, I don't need to know about what's coming up necessarily. Although the article about Secret Wars was probably pretty interesting to me at the time. In 251 of Spider-Man, and likewise with every comic book that came out that month, all of the characters in the book that were going to go to the Beyonder world entered this portal that was in front of them. I think for Spider-Man it was like in Central Park or something like that. And yeah, the Fantastic Four showed up, and you know, all the characters, plus all the villains on the other side. Here's some nice stuff. Rick Veitch's Heartburst, which was part of Marvel graphic novel. That's where God Loves Man Kills came from, or the first New Mutants. And then the first one was like Death of Captain Marvel and Elric, and Star Slammers were in them, and all sorts of stuff. And, here's a nice little article about Frankenstein, which Marvel, I guess, in 83 got their hands on. It had been printed a few times, but here they were doing this nice deluxe version. It only cost $19.95. $19.95? Whew! Bernie Wrightson, if you don't know who he is the guy who did Swamp Thing and Frankenstein. He took all his time to do this book, and I guess he made 40 plates. If I'm streaming from my place, which I normally am on Tuesday nights, I have a Bernie Wrightson Frankenstein print back of the wall from the portfolio that came out. But look at this. This is just, I know it's not coming up beautifully on the camera, but this is just amazing work. And of course, the laboratory scene is pretty unparalleled. I don't think there's ever been like a comic book illustrator that's quite done that kind of work before. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe people like Winsor McKay that much. Or Mary Severin on A-Team. Look at that. Woo! There you go. And that's what Marvel Age was all about. I'm going to stop sharing just for a moment because I made a file so that you can see all as well, so that we could see some of the comic books that were being pimped for that year, and also 10 years ago, the best-selling Marvel comic books. So let's do that really quick, and I'll give a little bit of information and insight on what I thought about those books at the time. So in 83, I was 13 years old. There you go. 83, I was 13 years old. Yeah, Adam could have used that back in the day, or that issue. All right, definitely for the comic cast, Boogie. Alien Legion. You can find this in dollar bins all across America, I would assume, and it is a steal for $1. Frank Sirocco is the illustrator on the cover. I don't know if he does the illustrations inside, but Carl Potts has worked at Marvel for a while, and this is some great alien police force stories, and I really like this book a lot. I never got all of them, but the ones I read were really good. It seemed to escape me. Epic Comics seemed to escape me, but what it probably was the normal ordering of the day. It was probably not unlike the normal ordering of today. You buy the first issue, and then you cut your second issue in half. And by the time you have ordered the third issue, you finally get the first issue in. So depending on how quick you can adjust your numbers, your third issue might be even lower than number 2. And then if sales sell out on 3, hopefully, or 2, you hopefully have adjusted 4 so that it's a little higher than number 3. And if you're lucky, the book is gaining traction rather than losing steam. But more often than not, they are losing steam. Unless a company has that desire to keep putting out, really good material, regardless of sales. And we've seen that in television and movies, art films, Hill Street Blues, America. Alien Legion was very good. I had to steal this image from my comic shop. I assume Marvel does not have this on their website for sale, probably because of ROM right there. He's owned by Hasbro, and Marvel and Disney do not own Hasbro as of yet. In fact, look for the new Magic the Gathering comic called Magic from Boom. It has Iguara artwork, and it's pretty good. If you know any fans like Venomized Ryan that like Magic, they'll probably dig that book. Daredevil 207. I don't remember if I got this, but I was soon to start picking it up again when Mazzucchelli started. I don't think this is him, though. Well, not the cover, for sure. X-Men, of course, I got that. Rogue on the cover, kicking butt. J.R. Jr. on art. Probably Dan Green on inks. Also, this title was dragging for me just a bit. I love J.R. Jr. in every incarnation, but this run of X-Men was not my favorite of his, nor Chris Claremont's. But the next issue, 183, is one of my all-time favorite X-Men issues, if not my favorite all-time issue. And actually in 191 and 191, something like that, where they have a Kulan Goth story, that one also is very good. But prior to this was Paul Smith doing art for X-Men, and what a revelation he was for me in my fandom growing up, and it was sad to see him leave. Alpha Flight, wow. John Byrne, this was so John Byrne was doing character pieces and backup stories of Alpha Flight. So it was like, a 12, 16-page story and then a backup. But this was a full issue of just one story, and it leads to the pivotal issue number 12 as far as Guardian is concerned. I won't blow it for you, but someone dies. Hercules, the miniseries, Prince of Power. They're pimping this one to be coming out. This was fun, funny. Bob Layton writing and drawing. Highly recommended. The Mighty Avengers. They have a ROM villain on the cover, but since Marvel created it, I could get this image from Marvel. The Diarrheas are a Marvel creation, and they haunt the X-Men for quite a while. Oh, there's that Daredevil again. What's this? Oh, Spider-Man 253 is coming out. Oh, excellent. This was a Rick Leonardi drawn issue. It's the first issue of The Rose, I do believe. And it's a key issue that is cheaper than most. I recommend it. Rick Leonardi, we thought he was going to be the king shit of all illustrators. And, he's done a lot of stuff, but he just never really stuck around on any one thing. I think he has a Kickstarter / crowdfunding comic book coming up soon. Thor, another great comic book. Walt Simonson writing and drawing. Balder issue. New Mutants. It was already, I think, rumored that Bill Sienkiewicz was going to be on the book soon, and I was counting the days. And then here's John Byrne yet again doing Fantastic Four. This is an excellent Reed Richards versus Doc Ock issue, and it is a great one-issue solo issue story with impactful results at the end. and it's very, very good. Highly recommend it. Again, all these books are so darn good. Here's a small picture of G.I. Joe. I was getting G.I. Joe at the time, and these are great. And US 1, I thought I had a better picture than that. US 1's coming out. This is a quote-unquote 12-issue maxi series. It was horrible. It's this guy who gets like alien, he gets synthesized with his truck, I think. There were issues of the Sensational She-Hulk where US 1 was in it. Those were pretty good. Not really great, but pretty good. All right, I'm going to get that top 10 up really quick also. I think I have this backwards, though. This is an amazing top 10. Okay, yeah, here it is. All right, let me share this now. Before we do the top 10, let me show you those comic books that are going to be coming out in the next couple days, hopefully, people. All right, here we go. Iron Man number 7 by Christopher Cantwell. Getting a lot of popularity these days. I think he's writing that Captain America miniseries. I think that's him. And Kafu doing the art. Really good art. Like it a lot. Radiant Black by Kyle Higgins and Marcela Costa. I did not like the first issue, but the character design and the introduction of the, I think, villain at the end of the first issue has me at least interested in reading the second issue. We'll see how that goes. Stillwater is in trade paperback now, and it's written by Chip Zdarsky of Daredevil fame. If you are a person that only reads superhero comics, but are just slightly, sort of, maybe looking to branch out, you should check this one out. Roman Perez also is, I think he's done X-Men stuff. So you got a lot of, Marvel talent right here. Thor comes out. This is that Donald Blake story where does Donald Blake go when Thor comes out after he hits that stick? Well, this is the answer to that. Yeah, it's been great. Donny Cates. Ultra Mega comes out. This is $7.99. It's written and drawn by James Herron with Dave Stewart on art. Not Dave Stewart of the Eurythmics. Dave Stewart of art fame. But there was Dave Stewart of the Eurythmics that did that Deepak Chopra company. But don't worry about that. And yeah, that's some books that are coming out probably today at your comic store if Diamond delivered. But since it didn't deliver to me, I'm assuming it's going to be coming out tomorrow or Friday. Ugh. Which means I'm going to be stuck in the store all by myself today. So if you're interested in saving some money, you can come on in and get trade paperbacks or graphic novels, hardcover or soft. It doesn't matter. It's buy one, get the second of equal or less value at half off. If you're buying an omnibus for $100, you get the second one at $50. Think of it that way. You can get, I have Swamp Thing, which is out of print. Omnibus Volume 1. And I have Star Wars omnibuses, the Marvel years, that are out of print. And there's issues that they don't put in their Epic collections. And I have Fantastic Four by John Byrne. And I'm sure Boogie can tell you that a bunch of those is pretty great. Listen to this. Cantwell is awful. Awful, I tell you. He did She Could Fly. That was a pretty interesting book. And I don't hate his Doom or his Iron Man. I don't hate it. Doesn't mean I love it. But yeah, I'm not so sure if I want to read about Captain America's across the country. But that'd be totally the kind of thing I'd probably throw out as an idea for a story if I was pinned down for something. Well, I'd love to do a road trip. Which is, of course, exactly what I wanted to do with Doctor Strange. I wanted to do a road trip if I ever got my mitts on him. We don't need to talk about my failed writing career. We can talk about some good comic books that came out in 1982. So, a year ago, when this Marvel Age came out, these were the top-selling comics at Marvel. This is number one. The number one comic. And this is how they did it. Is X-Men 167... This is when the X-Men came back from fighting the Brood. Paul Smith, I think he was on like 165 was his first issue. I could be wrong. Probably am. But look at his Storm. She's fantastic. Look with so little lines, he puts so much expression in their faces. Wolverine is short. He's short. Just like he's supposed to be, and hairy. And yeah, just really good. Poor Charles Xavier. Don't worry, he walks again. This is number 2? I don't think this was number 2. I think my things are out of order. The next one was Fantastic Four. Let me get to that one. There it is. Fantastic Four 252. This had tattoos in it. If they are not in the book, then it is not mint condition. So you need to have those tattoos, those lakeside skin tattoos inside. You can't have used them. They must be in there for it to be, mint. This was a sideways issue, which was a gimmick that Marvel would do a lot in the 90s. All right, I think I remember seeing this over here. Spider-Man was number 3, issue 238. Again, another Lakeside skin tattoos promotion. If it is not in this comic book, then it is not mint condition. And yeah, this is a pretty hot book for sure. It's very expensive. Let's see, where was it? There, Avengers. This is exactly the reason why I never read Avengers if I could help it. Number 1, Milgram. He's done some good covers, but I mean, talk about a guy in charge, or lucky enough to be a guy in charge. He gave himself so many covers, so many writing credits, so many art credits, so many inking credits. He was on almost every Marvel book. He would be super influential if he was ever any good. All right, maybe he's not that bad, but ugh. Daredevil 192. This was still pretty hot off Frank Miller, but he's no longer on the book. I think these were drawn by Klaus Janson. Definitely the cover was. And Denny O'Neil, if he's not writing now, will be soon. And again, Mazzucchelli will be on the book, and you should look for those issues. You should buy those issues, not just the ones that are written by Frank Miller when he comes back for Born Again, but all the Mazzucchelli issues, because we're talking about a guy that doesn't do monthly comics and was really never suited to do monthly comics, except there was this one time in his life when he did. And it's powerful, emotional, really great Daredevil that doesn't... Everybody talks about Frank Miller, and everybody talks... Well, if they talk about old people, they talk about Wally Wood or maybe Gene Colan, who had a really long run on the book. They might talk about the characters or what a slut Matt Murdock is, sleeping around all the time. But they don't usually talk about the Denny O'Neil Mazzucchelli stuff, or Mazzucchelli even at all, until, again, that Born Again story. And then they talk about Ann Nocenti and then Brian Michael Bendis and Brubaker. But this was really, really good stuff, or the Mazzucchelli stuff was. The art in these were pretty good. As long as Denny O'Neil is doing the writing, it's something to pay attention to. All right. Let me see. It's... Yeah, all right. Next up, we have Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man. Once again, Al Milgrom is doing the cover. It's good. It's just, does Spider-Man really look like he's standing on anything? I don't think he does. All right, next up, we have Conan the Barbarian. There was a time when Conan could be in the top 10 of Marvel sales. That's amazing. I did not read this issue. All right, what else? All right, Ohatmu. That's what we called it, Ohatmu. Official Handbook of the Marvel Universe, issue 3. All the issue covers were done by John Byrne, I do believe, and it is this was all the rage back in the day. And there was even a poster that put all these covers together. I'm sure there's a lot of people that ripped the covers off and did them themselves. Let's see. Oh, there it was. Marvel Team Up. this was a book where Spider-Man would team up with somebody. Oh, look, he's in a Christmas issue. He's teaming up with the Watcher, the guy who's not supposed to do anything but watch. He's like the ultimate pervert. Oh, and look, Ed Hannigan and Al Milgrom are doing the cover. Amazing. Just amazing. And then last but not least, Hulk. There you go. Again, there was a time when the Hulk could be in the top 10 without some crazy World War Hulk thing going on. Take the banner down. I didn't realize it was up. Let me see. Oh, see? Ha! That's hilarious. I had the banner up this whole time. Oh well. You get the idea. Boomer. Anyhow, thanks everybody for tuning in. I just want to remind everybody that this Tuesday coming up, we will be closed at the store. We will still have a show on in the evening. And, yeah, I'm going to probably take this down real soon. Or, later on. But thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We will get new comics hopefully tomorrow, but probably Friday. You can call ahead. And if you want to take advantage of our trade paperback sale, it will go on until I get my diamond shipment. How's that? So thank you, everybody, for tuning in who has. And anybody that wants to leave a comment afterwards, please do. Sorry about that banner. Take it easy.